I'm Petri Bellamy. My wife Petri and I farm here on a little place in Mokoia. It's 10 minutes south of Hawera, South Taranaki, and we came here from Waikato. Both of us had only been here once before in our life. Came looking for farms and jumped in the deep end and bought a place here, not really knowing anything about the area, the climate, the farming or anything, but thought it was a good opportunity for us. So we're on a little place here that is about 50 hectares effective, 70 total, quite a bit of rough stuff out the back, but all the rest of it's usable and flat, and yeah, nice little place to call home. Felt like when we came here it was learning to farm all over again. Where I'd been for my whole life was on a 180 hectare System 5 farm, high input, feed barn, feed pads, centre pivot irrigator, a bit of everything really. It covered all the bases, and so we were started off at 850 cows there and worked our way down to about 750. Then we moved here and flipped everything on its head. We're only 150 cows here. We've really had to learn farming again. It's we haven't had any of the luxuries of being able to buy and feed and program exactly what you want to have out the other end of it. But it's been good. It's been really good and challenging still, but enjoyable. We started looking at farms in Waikato because that was what we knew, and very quickly found that the price bracket was outside of where we were comfortable. Our bank manager said that we were smart to maybe go and have a look down on the west coast of the South Island and see what was value for money down there. And so we spent a good 9 or 10 months down there looking at places. And while we were looking for gear to be running down there, the go-to was looking at Fert wagons, and literally just stumbled across a Tow and Fert. Jeepers, I don't even know what it was. It was something on Google. I don't know whether it was a YouTube video or something like that. And that started our journey down a rabbit hole really. We ended up contacting Mike. He came and visited us down in Hokitika where we were staying at the time, bought a machine with him, and that was a real eye-opener, wealth of information, and it really started our thought pattern somewhere different to where we had been. It wasn't necessarily the Tow and Fert in total that had done that, but it was a catalyst to thinking outside of where we had normally been. We liked what was presented, and it was almost like the Tow and Fert was secondary as far as the machine itself to the thinking behind why we wanted to go down there. That kind of stuck in the back of our head. The farm fell apart down there. We didn't end up making something happen, and so by default we ended up looking at places in Taranaki just purely because of price really. We didn't want to be in Northland and we didn't want to go to Southland, and so kind of right in the middle of that ended up being Taranaki. And so we came up here. When we ended up committing to this place, then that whole procedure started again. So we were looking at gear and what we were going to need to run the place, and the first cab off the ranks was Tow and Fert. We'd already decided that was where we wanted to be, and so we're back in touch with Mike, I think about 8 or 9 months after we'd originally been in touch with him, and he's probably thinking that we're one of these call, ask questions and then never hear from again. But we always had in the back of our mind that that was what we were wanting to do. That was probably one of the few things that we'd locked in on. No matter which system, we were keen on the idea of the Tow and Fert. So that's how that kind of came about.